I'm gonna make my tier list, little boys. I'm gonna be making my tier list of patch 26.03. And as you can see, bro, like, look at this patch notes. It's a lot of changes. A lot of changes. And I've tested almost all of these champions to figure out what's strong, what's weak. And here I am making a tier list, and let's get to it. This is how I categorize the tier list and how I think about champions, right? And basically, I'm just gonna read it out loud and explain my thought process. Quite important. But yeah, basically, Z are the champions that are broken and you can inflate your elo. So as for the S plus tier champions, those are the champions that are really good 1v1 and they have pretty decent team fighting or skirmishing. The A plus is the champions that are good 1v1 and have decent team fighting skirmishing, but not like really good, you know? And usually the S plus tier champs are just better champs than A plus tier champs. But usually this is what happens if it's A plus or S. The A tier champs are champs that they don't really excel at anything. Don't get me wrong, they're all good at everything, but not really like OP at something. So they're just very solid champions. You can easily make A tier champs A plus if the draft is good and you know how to master those champions, but it depends, right? B tier champs are champs that require high champion mastery and positioning, and they're not really that straightforward. So imagine you play a champion like Talia, okay? It's not really that straightforward, you know? Like, you kind of have to hit your spells, you have to kite well, position well. If you don't, you're useless. And as for C tier champs, those champs require basically a lot of individual skill, and without that, you'll be an NPC. So, which champs am I thinking of when I think about that? I'll be thinking about Rengar, I'll be thinking about Lee Sin. Those are champs that, unless you're like really good on those champions, it's not really a champion, let's put it that way. I'm gonna be making my tier list from Platinum and below, and based off this, I'll be making my tier list, okay? I'll just put it on the side if you want to read it, right? What do I think you can inflate yourself with? I'll wait with that. Let's start with like S plus tier champs, okay? So, just so you know, it's a very big patch note. If you haven't read it, I would recommend you to read it. I'm not gonna cover like everything, because like, you know, but I'll cover the biggest changes, okay? And I'll start top to bottom. So basically, Bel Veth, this is a pretty big buff, by the way, which means that every single time you have a stack, it deals extra damage, and 4 extra damage per stack. Pretty nice. Briar got pretty big changes as well. The current health is basically less, so essentially you lose less HP by using your spells, which is kind of nice, right? Diana. This is probably the biggest patch note that people are wondering. Keyray, is Diana still good? Yay or nay? I'll show you soon. But it's 50% nerf. Ekko, they nerfed the monster damage as well. AP ratio is just a passive though. It's similar to Diana. They're just trying to nerf the clear a bit. Hecarim, it deals like 20 extra Q damage if it's maxed out, which is a pretty big buff, by the way, just so you guys know. They did nerf like the scaling per stack to 1% less, but it's okay. Not a big deal. Jace, the clear got nerfed, so the clear's maybe like 4 to 5 seconds slower. But most champions that get nerfed, they still do the same job. They're just not as strong, you know? Kayn is 20 AD, extra bonus damage. Okay, Mel, thank god this champ's nerfed. This is like extra clear, so you clear faster. Nunu, I think they buffed the damage a bit as well. You see 30 extra damage if it's maxed. And this deals some extra damage as well, because they nerfed Nunu a bit. Trundle, some basic stats increase. It's nothing too fancy, right? Vi, same. Volibear, this is a pretty big change as well. And I'll cover it in the tier list later, but just so you know. Wait, actually, I skipped Maokai apparently. Okay, hold up. I didn't consider Maokai a champion, okay? But, yeah, it deals 10 extra damage. Don't play the champ, okay? I can already spoil it right now, just don't. It's fine. Volibear. This is pretty big, because the E nerf not only does it deal less damage, as you can see, it actually has longer cooldown as well. But, I'll cover it in tier list actually, whatever. But you can see as well, the Q deals 10 damage less. So usually on Volibear, what you do is you put 3 points in Q, then rest W. So essentially, you deal 20% less damage. But you get bonus AD if you buy any AD. Because they're trying to like incentivize people to go AD, because Dusk and Dawn is the most broken item. So they're trying to like buff Trinity Force basically. But anyway, doesn't matter. You still don't go Trinity. Oh, this buff is pretty big as well. They buffed 20% attack speed if it's maxed out. 15 on 4 points. This is actually a pretty big buff, by the way. And as well, they buffed the heal a bit. Oh, this is actually the biggest patch note, or change as well. The monster modifier increased, and the E bonus damage. Bro, these are really good buffs. Really good buffs. Z, the hotfix set is 0.75. Yeah, this is like right now 150, I think. Or something like that. Dusk and Dawn a little bit nerfed as well. Health more, less damage. This one, very good on Hecarim and some other champions. But essentially, yeah, not too shabby. So the rest isn't like too interesting, okay? Cashback, still, this is about it, still one of the most OP runes. You should take it. Yeah, that's about it, okay? This is Platinum below. I'll be making the higher elo tier list and I'll put it on my Discord, but it won't be online as we speak of. So if you want to access this, check my Discord. But let's start. What are S+ tier champions in low elo to climb? This is Platinum below, just so you guys know. And just saying, this bad boy, Platinum below. Guys, Ludwig got the Platinum of Amumu, okay? S+, guys. Just so you guys know. This champion in lower elos, very good. Just try to pair this champion with like Yone. So one thing I'll be adding is like a bit more specific. So let's say like Amumu here, okay? One thing you want to be doing is like try to, if possible, have an Aksha mid lane. Try to have a Yone mid lane. But basically, have some balance. As long as the enemy team cannot buy mercs, this champ very good in low elo. Because team fighting, very, very strong and, you know, recommended. I would not recommend Amumu if you play a lot of crowd control, or let's say if like this type of draft. You do not want like Amumu in these type of drafts, like avoid that, okay? Not recommended. But I would put this champion on S tier. Besides Amumu, and I'm gonna, left to right does matter, okay? Left to right does matter, let me clarify that. But I'm gonna first sort the S tier champs, okay? So what do I think else in S tier in lower elo? I'm gonna put this little bad boy here, Mundo. Very strong low elo, simply because you farm up, you get 1 kill, you stat check people. People don't know how to build. You're gonna be immortal. Just learn how to have good base timers and learn how to clear a bit. Don't take stupid fights. Have good base timers. This champ very OP in lower elo. It's legit elo potion champions, okay? Warwick, like I said, left to right matters, but I'll fix it at the end. Warwick is very good as well, but as you get to like gold, platinum, it falls off. But like an iron, bronze, even silver-ish. But from silver to gold close onwards, they start dropping off a bit. This is like literally Z tier in like very low elo, okay? But as you get higher, it's a bit worse. I'm gonna put it S+, but like I said, if you're in platinum gold, I'll put it like maybe like A+. Not as OP, but I'll sort it out later, okay? Jaximus. Jaximus is still gonna be very strong. It's still one of the most OP champion in lower elo. And yeah, it's like broken. And besides that, let me just go from the bottom to the top. Ooh, Mordekaiser. Okay, honestly, I do want to put Mordekaiser already right here because like it's just hidden there. But this champ actually is so underrated, by the way. Like so many people that look in bruisers or mini champs, this champ beats everyone up. So I'm just gonna put it right there. It's actually stronger than most people think, and you can easily get free LP. And besides that, my boy Volibear is still very strong. I know Volibear got nerfed, but trust me, it's still giga strong, okay? And as for the rest, I would not say Nocturne is S+, in case you're wondering. Low elo, it's not that OP. But I think this might be it actually. There's not, and you might be wondering, okay, does any champ go in Z tier? I personally don't think right now in low elo, besides Diana previously, deserve to be on Z tier. So previously Diana was on Z tier. Now because it got nerfed is not. And it's actually not S+ anymore in lower elo, by the way, just so you know. I'll read it later. Oh, Briar as well. I forgot about this bad boy. Okay, that's it. This is legit my S+ tier list in lower elo. And now let's order left to right, okay? If you would ask me what's like the most OP, okay, this is like balance, okay? Amumu is like the most OP teamfight champion in skirmishing as well. So literally just play with your ultimate, you'll 1v9. But then what comes after that? I personally think that Mundo or the Bear is pretty close. But I'll put, I mean, Mundo can be a bit more obnoxious, but I would rate Volibear a bit higher. Mundo is a bit more unskilled, by the way. So I actually think it might be like this. Amumu, Mundo, Volibear, Jax. These two are pretty close, by the way. And I would recommend Briar over Warwick. Like, if I would rate left to right... Okay, Jax and Volibear are very close. And Mundo and Volibear are very close, right? But I would rate it like this. I would even say maybe this, right? But it's very close. Left to right matters. This is what I have for S tier. For low elo, at least. And as for... well, A+, let's start with that. For the A+ champs that I think are very Balenciaga, and let's look at the tier list again, right? S+ are the champs that are really good 1v1 and plus decent teamfighting skirmishing. The thing with Amumu is that it really excels at teamfighting because people don't go cleanse and build wrong. It's not really OP 1v1, but you can see every single other champ is legit OP at 1v1. Really strong, okay? A+. Trundle goes there as well. You might be wondering why does Trundle go in there? Well, this champion has basically good 1v1 and have decent teamfighting skirmishing, but the other champs, I feel like, excel more at it, you know? So they're a bit higher. Next is Nocturne as well. Why Nocturne? I mean, it's always been a very good low elo champ. People don't respect him. Basically, play for your ultimate. No ult, you don't play. Let me put... what else? A+. Okay, Malphite actually. Malphite didn't really get that much affected and it didn't nerf him. So this champ actually in low elo is still pretty OP because it's really good against most of the champs, even in S+. It's pretty straightforward as well. So this champ's A+2. Nunu is there as well, simply because the ganks are pretty good. And okay, the 1v1 might not be like as insane, but I do think the ganks are pretty solid. And in low elo people just get, well, the disrespect and it'll die, right? Same for Udyr. I think Udyr is like one of those champs where it's like just pretty decent at everything, right? They're good at 1v1, have decent teamfight and skirmishing, right? A+. I think Master Yi, it depends on how low elo, but I do think Master Yi is like A+. However, with Master Yi though, I mean, it's with any champ, right? You just need to know how to fight. You don't fight if they have all spells, basically. As for next champs, there's some assassins, Rek Sai. I mean, these champs are not as OP in lower elo. Okay, this little bad boy definitely gets in there. Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao did get buffed. The clear is still a bit slow, but the skirmish ability of this champion still pretty straightforward and still pretty good. So I would put the champ A+. Usually it's like A tier, but I do think the champ does deserve a good place. Simply because in team fighting, it's actually very, very OP. 1v1, it isn't as OP, but it's still very solid. And honestly, I'm just gonna start going from all these champs from left to right, because like me looking for like A+ specific is a bit difficult. So I'm actually gonna go from Jarvan, Diana, etc. Okay, where does Jarvan go? I think Jarvan goes to A tier simply because it has good ganks, but it doesn't really have OP 1v1. The team fighting is good if you know how to count numbers and create picks, but usually in lower elo it's not the case. So it's A tier. As for Diana, you might be wondering, what do I think about Diana? Just to clarify, I think because Diana clearly got nerfed, I would highly recommend you to buy Dusk and Dawn, okay? Like, this champion is only good in lower elo if you go this item. You can even see that the winner on this item is probably the highest, I believe. Yeah, you can see it is the highest. And why is that? I can even go to like Platinum, right? But simply because the clear got nerfed, this item became even stronger because essentially you start clearing a lot faster, right? This item just helps you clear a lot faster. So I would put Diana actually on A+. So even though it literally went from Z tier to A+, but because there's still Dusk and Dawn and you can still clear pretty good, I put it A+. But please don't fight a Warwick or Briar 1v1. Just don't. When you see them, you run away. You play team fight skirmishes. If you basically play team fight, you're Gucci, but don't play 1v1. As long as you do that, it's A+, okay? Ekko. Okay, so I think Ekko is pretty solid, and I've always had it on A+. It's always been like an A+ and A mix. I do think the champ mastery on this champion is very difficult. Like, most people can't really play Ekko that well, you know? So, because they can't play it that well, right? And it's not as easy. You can see this like gold either, right? It's 50%, which is like not really insane 1v1, not really insane team fight, but it's very noob friendly because you can ult backwards and you don't die. So it's like A tier. It's not like really excelling at anything, but it's pretty decent at, I don't know, it's a decent champion. Can it be A+? For sure, but it requires a lot of champion mastery. Without champion mastery, no bueno. Viego. Well, you guys might be wondering, where is Viego going? The thing is that, one thing I really want to highlight is that in low elo, Viego isn't as good as you guys think it is, you know? So, and why is that? I'll tell you why. Look at the support picks, most played. Okay, somehow it's trash Nautilus, but I'm pretty sure you guys can all agree that Lux, Nami, these, like, bro, when I play low elo, I get like enchanters. If you play Viego with enchanters, it's cooked. So try to play Viego with like Nautilus, Leona, champs that set you up. But out of like all the 10 champs, there's at least 6 of them being enchanters. Or champs that are just not useful. So let's look at the Viego win right now. It's like not as good. I don't know where Viego is, but it's negative win rate. Like, I would say Viego can be A+ if you have a melee support and if you know how to play other champions. If you don't have that, I would put it simply A tier. So that's how you have to see Viego picked in the right drafts, okay? Okay, Karthus, B tier. Why B tier? Champs are champions that require high champ mastery and position and aren't very straightforward. Karthus is not very straightforward. In high elo, by the way, I would legit put it like OP tier. In low elo, it requires you to understand tempo, how to skill shot, like actually land your spells, right? You can't just brain deadly engage on people. Because you can't do that, it's not a good champion. You can see it's a negative win rate as well. I wouldn't even put it A tier. I'll put it like B tier. If you're a good card OTP, sure, A+. But for most people, B tier. Kayn. Okay. I think Kayn, unironically, if you go red Kayn, it can be a pretty solid champion. Like in low elo, I actually think it's A+. If you go blue Kayn, C tier. That's the difference. However, I personally think that Kayn, I personally have never been a big fan of this champion. I think the winner is probably like 50 to 51% in between that. So that would actually put it A tier. But I've never been a big fan of this champion. Yeah, 50 to 51% win rate. Because early game, it doesn't do that much. If you get red Kayn, sure you're OP. But it's not like excelling at something. It's just an okay champion, you know? In some games, if they have 3 melee champions, you have red Kayn, sure, A+. So it really depends on draft as well, okay? Ivern, in low elo, it's not as good. The moment you go from Emerald Plus, I think it gets better, but in low elo, like, not it, okay? It's B tier. Kindred, bro, it's kind of sad to say, but I think I'll put this champ very fucking low. It's sad, but because in nerf Kindred, it didn't really benefit from anything. I'll probably put a B tier, but in very low elo, it's really not it. I feel like it's yeah. I mean, I expected this much. It's kind of sad, you know, because I main Kindred, and in my brain, I would never put a C tier, but that's where I want to put it originally. I'm like, fuck, really? Like, it used to be at least B tier, guys. But now it's like C tier, which is kind of sad, you know, because it's one of my favorite champions. But yeah, you know, C tier. As for Bel Veth, okay, Bel Veth is a champion that's very good playing side lane, but in low elo people tend to team fight, and this champ is difficult. Because the champ is difficult, and it's Loki and Assassin, and requires a lot of champion mastery. I don't know the winner rate of Bel Veth, but I don't think it's net positive. Even after buffs, I don't think it's positive. Yeah, it's still negative. Simply because the champ is like... Look at this thing, okay? Champions require high champ mastery and positioning, and aren't very straightforward. If a Bel Veth runs at you, unless he's fed, he can't kill you. That's not how it works. You need to go through the side lane, into mid lane, get man advantage, yada yada. If you're not good at that, it's cooked. So for that reason, it's B tier. Okay, Ambessa is a champ that's actually pretty good. Okay, I'll put it at least A tier. But, one problem. I think that most people don't know how to use the combo. I'll even say it should be A+, okay? But, because people don't know how to use the combo, and don't search up a guide or whatever, it's B tier. Like, win rate wise, I think, at least. But, it should be at the very least A tier, because it's very solid, but... Because the champ is squishy and it requires you to play well, it's B tier. It's still a high champion mastery. So Ambessa is still like negative probably. It's even worse than I thought, but yeah, it's B tier. But the champ is pretty good. But you need to understand how to play the champion. Elise. In low elo, it has never been like super OP. I think it's B tier. If you do know how to play Elise, it's like easily, I would say, A tier. But in low elo, I'll put a B tier. I think win rate on Elise is probably negative as well. Yeah, it's negative too. But it's not like too bad, you know, like... but I'll put B tier. For the other ranks, by the way, below S, I'm not really putting them left or right, just so you know. Lillia B tier, and I'll just tell you why. I mean, this champ requires you to space properly, know how to clear, how to team fight. If you're not insane at it, it's kind of meh. I wouldn't be surprised if the win rate's like around 50%, because this champ actually is pretty good since they buffed the move speed once you complete your path. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's 50% right in gold elo. Ooh, that's actually a bit higher than I thought. Maybe I underestimated it, because they buffed it, the move speed, but still. I'm still gonna put a B tier, okay? But I do think, like I said, it's not too shabby. It's A tier, but I'll put a B tier. I do think there are better champs out there. Alright, Shyvana. Okay, Shyvana in my books is A+. If you decide to go full clear machine and get your Leandries, get your items right, you're gonna be super strong. It's like pretty strong 1v1 as well, and in team fights. So that's why it's A+. Zyra is one of those champs. It's actually pretty good. I'm gonna put it A tier. Why not? Oops, sorry. Why not A plus? Simply because this champion is very good at like clearing, if you know how to clear. And even in team fighting, it's not too bad. Even like, okay, 1v1 is not as optimal, but it basically does a lot more than most of the A plus champions, and it's very straightforward. So even in low elo, positioning is a thing. It's still pretty decent, you know? You can see it's like pretty solid. Anyway, Gwen. Okay, Gwen was a champ actually. I didn't expect it to be as OP as I thought when the new season came out. But Duskin on Gwen, that's Balenciaga. But in lower elo right now, and especially because nerf Gwen a little bit, but just so you know, I don't think the Gwen nerfs matter that much. But it's still very OP. While I would like to put Gwen at least on A+, I do think in lower elo, considering how fast the games are, and considering I don't think you can scale too much, and you have to be fighting a decent amount in skirmishing before you can get online, and cross-mapping is not really a thing, I think it's A tier. If you know how to cross-map a little bit and trade objectives, easily A+. Or even, A+. But for the majority of the people, it's going to be A. But then again, in my opinion, Gwen is so fucking OP, it's criminal to not put it A+. But you just have to give some objectives, you know? Let's see how high Gwen win rate is. Okay, it's like literally A, as I thought, but in my mind, because in high elo, Gwen is like disgusting. Maybe I should put it originally where I put it, because in my mind, it was A tier. Simply because the champ can't involve himself as much compared to the other champs. But yeah, I'll still put it A+, because this champion, by the way, the moment you get high elo, it's gonna go to S tier, by the way, just letting you know. So I would recommend it a bit higher. As long as you have good fundamentals, you can really get out, like, inflate yourself with this champ. Naafiri, even though the clear got nerfed, sorry, it got buffed, I don't think the champ is that insane still, because you have to play a bit slow. So because it got buffed, previously I had Naafiri on B tier, but I'll put it A tier right now, simply because it got a clear speed, and the skirmishing is pretty decent. I'm wondering if the win rate got better though on Naafiri. It's still 50. I'm not sure how much it mattered, but I'll still put it on A tier though. If you're in very low elo, it's B tier. If you're in gold platinum, A tier, okay? I still think this champ is pretty decent. Zac. B tier. Why is Zac B tier? Simply because this champ is very strong in high elo. But in low elo, you need to land your skill shots. And if you miss your skills, it's kind of cooked. So good base timers really do matter. And champion mastery. And if you don't have that, it's over. Same for Hecarim. So Hecarim got buffed, yes, but a lot of champions, okay, that require champion mastery. And okay, Hecarim is very straightforward, but in team fights, you need to play him very well. If you don't play Hecarim in team fights well, or if you don't know how to play side lane, it's kind of cooked. And in low elo, people usually don't know how to play that. Graves, yeah, see, we don't have to talk about it. It's sorry, but it's over. Graves is just not it. Kha Zix. Okay, Kha Zix got really, really good buffs. Like, Kha Zix is probably one of the top 5 champs maybe right now, considering like how strong it feels in high elos. But in low elo, it's still an assassin. I'm not gonna put it A+. I'm gonna put it A. Simply because it's an assassin and it's still not that straightforward, right? So I'm gonna put it A tier. Talon. Yeah, Talon is an assassin. I think this champ is still a lot of champion mastery. I would not recommend this champion simply due to it not being that good at team fighting. If you don't play the champ well in skirmishing, it's, yeah, not it. Fiddlesticks, I'll put it higher A tier. Fiddlesticks is actually decently strong, not gonna lie. But yeah, like understanding vision and stuff, that's like a bit more difficult for most people. So if you don't know how to abuse vision, Fiddlesticks isn't as good. But if you have one good team fight, this champ can, well, turn fights around. But you should ideally have like a draft where you don't have too much crowd control like Leona, Lissandra, you know? Rek Sai, okay, low elo, this champ just falls off. Like, it just simply falls off. And in low elo, if your ganks are not good, and your base timers are a bit shit, you're not going to be that OP 1v1, and you're not going to be that OP in team fight. So it's B tier. Evelyn, it's an assassin, B tier. Shaco, B tier. Like, most assassins are high champion mastery, B tier. Unless an assassin is very exceptional at something. Then I put it A tier. Silas, B tier. I'm gonna go a bit faster because honestly, if you follow this metric, it should be pretty straightforward, right? Champ mastery is like, you know, a thing. Nidalee, yeah, you're gonna be an NPC if you don't have good champ mastery. Riven, yep, NPC as well if you don't like. Honestly, you see, okay, do you see the champs I put at C? I'm gonna put right now all the C champions, okay? Honestly, even Nala deserves to be in C. That's just how bad a champ is, okay? It's not even about champ mastery, it's a shit champ. But if you look at lowest win rate, okay? Riven, Nidalee, Rengar, Zed, where's Lee Sin? I suggest should be up there as well, low elo. Okay, Lee Sin is 48, but trust me, it's still omega dog shit, you know? Actually, I'm surprised how Udyr is like that low win rate as well in gold, but I don't think it should be that low. But yeah, any champ that requires skill, cooked. Oh, forgot to add Lee Sin there. It's just not it. And Jace as well on low elo, yeah, not it as well. You see, all of these champs are insane champ mastery. If you're not good at that, it's cooked, okay? Kiana, up there as well. Talia, B tier. Why is Talia B tier? It requires positioning. And it's not straightforward. Aatrox. Okay, this champ, actually, I'm mixed feeling about it because it is a bruiser. It's not OP 1v1, but it's decent team fighting. But it does require you to land your Qs. So, I do think in my mind it should be A tier, but I think win rate wise it should be B tier. Because the champ is actually quite difficult to pull off. Yes, negative as well. Fizz. Yeah, B tier as well. It actually felt like a decent champion, but I don't think it's as good as it should be. Because it requires you to play quite well as well. Rumble, high champ mastery as well. Wukong is a solid champ, but doesn't really excel at anything. Sejuani is actually A tier. Liandry Sejuani is a thing, by the way. I don't know if you guys know, but Sejuani is actually not bad. If you go Liandry's. Wait, does it go hard still? I'm pretty sure Liandry's is pretty juicy. Like very low people buy Liandry's, but they buff the AP scaling. Olaf's A tier is just a very solid champ. And Poppy is A tier. So simply because the champs are just solid, but not really good at anything, you know? Poppy can be A+ if it is counterpicking, but usually, you know. I think Zahan... Okay, even though Zahan got buffed, I think in low elo it's not as OP. Because it requires you to play slow, stack your passive properly. And if you just fight and die, then... Yeah, not that good. Skarner, actually C tier as well. Sign... I'll put Sign in B tier. Like, most tanks as well are B tier in low elo. It can't carry. You need to be able to carry. Brand requires positioning. Look, you see Brand? Mastery and position and aren't very straightforward. B tier. Morgana, not straightforward. B tier. Gragas requires a lot of champ mastery as well. Tryndamere. Okay, in a way, Tryndamere is pretty straightforward, but you need to know so well your limits. And if you don't, it's cooked. It's all B tier. Rammus, ironically, is actually pretty decent. It's like, actually pretty solid. So I'll put it A tier. Like most tanks, I'll put it B tier. But Rammus has good engage, pretty decent skirmishing, but it's shit clear. Pantheon B tier because it clears too slow. Okay, ironically, Nasus might be A+. I'm wondering what Nasus win rate is, but this champ in low elo, like, I think it's pretty high. Yeah, I mean, ironically, I think this champ's A+. This champ is actually pretty decent. Because when I play against myself, I think it's... Where's Doggo? Oh, here. There you go. Yeah. Nasus is A+, simply because it beats everyone 1v1 and the scaling is actually not bad. But you're just very AFK in early game. Vi... Honestly, I feel like Vi is just B tier. It should be A tier, but this champ isn't... Okay. I know it sounds silly. Because it says straightforward, right? But of course you can't apply it for everything. While Vi is being very straightforward, after he's going in, he's just dead. It's not like Vi is dead OP, you know? Like, Vi is like, just not a strong champion. That's it. Darius, low B tier. Cho Gath, actually, I'll put Cho Gath high A tier. And Teemo, I'll be honest, I think I'm gonna keep my Teemo right there. It has no place in the tier list. And pretty much, that's my Platinum and below tier list. And yeah, I mean, now I'll be making my Emerald plus tier list, but that will be on my Discord, you know?